This is TWiT.
I thought this was an interesting little piece. The good news is a judge had his head on right. There was a lawsuit which a bunch of people have been continually trying to bring against Facebook for 5 years. The Guardian reported last Monday that a judge had dismissed a lawsuit, this time with prejudice, meaning that a subset of the claims cannot be brought up again, which was accusing Facebook of tracking users' web browsing activity even after they logged out of Facebook. The plaintiffs in this suit alleged that Facebook was using the like buttons found on other websites to track which sites they visited. Duh. Allowing Facebook to assemble detailed records of their browsing. Yes, that's what they're for. That's what they do. The plaintiffs argued that this violated federal and state privacy and wiretapping laws. However, U.S. District Judge Edward Davila in San Jose, California, dismissed the case because he said that the plaintiffs failed to show they had a reasonable expectation of privacy or that they suffered any realistic economic harm or loss. In other words, the plaintiffs were annoyed, but annoyance is not sufficient grounds for a lawsuit. Davila said the plaintiffs could have taken steps to keep their browsing histories private, for example, using the Digital Advertising Alliance's opt-out tool, or using incognito mode, which is now available in all major browsers. And they failed to show that Facebook illegally, quote, intercepted, which is apparently what they were alleging, or eavesdropped on any communications. He wrote, quote, Facebook's intrusion could have easily been blocked, but plaintiffs chose not to do so. Davila also dismissed an earlier version of the 5-year-old case back in October of 2015. He wrote, the fact that a user's web browser automatically sends the same information to both parties, meaning the site you're visiting and the site whose assets are also hosted on that page, does not establish that one party intercepted the user's communication with the other. He said the plaintiffs cannot bring privacy and wiretapping claims again, but they could pursue a breach of contract claim if they chose. So, standing back from this, it sounds as though the plaintiffs are unhappy that logging out of Facebook does not stop Facebook's tracking of their activities. But I think they need a lesson in how the internet works. As we know, websites give a browser a unique token, a cookie, which is subsequently returned anytime that browser makes any request for any asset from that, in this case, Facebook domain. But that's entirely separate from logging in. Even if you never were to log into Facebook, just by touching the Facebook domain, which your browser would do anytime you visited any page on the internet which contained a like button, Facebook would still give your browser a cookie, which could then be used to begin assembling an anonymous profile of essentially you anonymously as your browser, because it gets uniquely tagged, even if they have no idea who you are. That, just going anywhere and picking up that cookie then allows that to begin. You don't even have ever needed to visit Facebook ever, since, any contact with any page makes that happen. And then, of course, later, if you did visit Facebook and logged in and created an account and associated yourself with that Facebook session, then all of the pieces like suddenly click together and fit together. But all logging in is doing is telling Facebook that that cookie, which, you know, has been wandering around and appearing every time your browser came into contact with any page having a Facebook like button, all logging in is doing is setting a flag saying this user is logged in. And when you log out, that flag is reset. And so, and the resetting of that flag just means don't let this person do anything on Facebook until, you know, like only give them the login page until they do log in, and then they have freedom to do whatever they want to on their page. So anyway, I'm happy to see that this didn't go any further, and you know, these people just need to know how the internet works.